Hi, I'm Dave Johansson with Daybreak Properties. I'm a real estate investor, and this is my second video on lease options. In this video, we're going to be focusing on lease options when you start by buying the house. So, not with the tenant, but with buying the house. So, here's some basic information on a house that I currently own. I'm holding it in cash at this point. It's a duplex, and in this case, converting this duplex into a single family home creates instant equity. There's a lot of reasons why that's true. It happens to just be a little niche market in my market. Any rate, the purchase price is $145,000. The closing costs are $2,000. When I'm done with the conversion, it'll be worth $210,000. It's going to cost me about $20,000 to rehab it. And I've got carrying costs of $714. Now, actually, currently, the duplex has tenants in it. It's full, and it is actually cash flowing as a duplex for me right now. They're on a month-to-month lease. And when I have my crew ready to get in there and doing rehab, then the tenants will move out and everybody knows what's happening. So the $714, it's that low because I'm holding it in cash, is going to come when I'm ready for the rehab. Right now, I'm actually cash positive on it because I don't have a mortgage on it, frankly. So that's the basics. As a traditional single family rental, so not as a lease option, this is what the numbers look like. I have a $1,042 and $42 NOI net operating income, and you can see my expenses there. Actually, if I was holding this as a long-term rental, my CapEx would probably actually be higher than that. That's a 5% CapEx, and it's not enough. Because if I held this as a traditional rental, I'd be holding it for probably 10 years or something like that, and I definitely have CapEx expenses. So if I turn this into a lease option, however, what happens is my rent stays at $1,600. I actually could probably bring it up a little bit if I wanted to, but we're going to leave it the same for the sake of comparison. And I still have my taxes and insurance, but my management fees go away. I've got a 3-year lease on somebody that doesn't need to be managed. Before I move my tenants into this building, I'm going to take care of all major systems, any repairs that need to happen. So I don't really need to plan for CapEx. Now, having said that, I hold a lot of cash in my real estate business. And if there was a CapEx expense, I'd be able to cover it and it would take a hit on my returns. But I don't plan for it because I'm going to take care of every expected CapEx expense ahead of time. So my tenants are coming in on a great deal. And I don't have to. I'm only going to hold this property for 3 years. I'm putting all repairs onto the tenant, and I'm doing that because they intend to buy this house, right? And where the state that I'm in, I'm allowed to do that up to $1,000. So any repair $1,000 and under is on the tenant. Utilities are on the tenant. Lawn and snow removal is on the tenant, which moves my net operating income up to $1,362, and you can already see the turbocharging that happens in the returns. So let's set these side by side. On a traditional rental, if you take my NOI and my principal and interest, I only end up with $15 in cash flow. And because I have such a little amount of cash in the deal because of the duplex conversion, I still have a cash on cash of 14.8%, but that's a thin deal. I wouldn't take it. Anything goes wrong and I'm in trouble on it. It's not a great traditional rental. But if we push it up to a lease option, you could see that with the NOI goes up, the principal and interest stays the same, but the cash flow goes to $335, and I'm receiving an option fee. The option fee is 2% of what the property is worth when we go into the lease option. So I'm receiving a $4,200 option fee. That's a lot of money, which is actually giving me almost $3,000 of cash in my wallet. That negative sign there, what that really means is that that's cash that I have that I didn't have when I started. So my cash on cash is infinite. And you can see that when I go to sell the property, I have almost $80,000 in profit over a 1 to 3 year period. And that's pretty good when you look at cash flow and what I get cash for refinance, a total profit, and that's infinite profit. So thanks for listening. I'm Dave Johansson, and this is Daybreak Properties.